plant some trees today. This is a nice trident maple. First thing you want to do is you want to check the planting site. So before you plant, you want to make sure you've marked the site and you've submitted a dig ticket with 811. Flower is pretty easy, so as you can see here, that's been done. No utilities have been marked by the utility company already, so we're ready to clear the site for digging. You want to clear out an area of about 3 feet by 3 feet to dig the hole. Basically, you want this to be 2 to 3 times as wide as the root ball or the pot of the tree itself. So whatever tree you're planting, you want it to be 2 to 3 times the size of the root ball. So the next thing we want to do is we want to get the shape of the hole correct. So we want to make sure the bottom of the hole is fairly flat, and we want to make sure that we've stepped down here. We want to make sure that there's no sinking room for the tree itself. So we're just going to give a little stomp there. We're going to make sure the tree's on a firm footing. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create even more of a firm footing by making a mound of soil in the bottom of the hole. So what that means is that we're going to dump a little bit of soil in there, and we're going to pile it up in the middle. You're also going to make sure that the sides of the hole are roughened up so that the tree's roots have a place to go. We don't want to pot the tree in the soil. So we're going to make sure that the tree has plenty of space for those roots to grow. Now, we're going to take a look at planting depth. So here is our root ball. We're going to find the first woody root of the tree, or the trunk flare. This is also called the crown of the tree. So this is where the base of the tree flares out and starts rooting into the ground. So here you can very clearly see our first woody root. Sometimes you're going to have to excavate a little bit of the potting soil off the top of that. Sometimes the trees are planted pretty deep in their pots, so you're going to want to make sure you dig down, find that first woody root, and make sure it's exposed. We're going to kick the sides of the pot a little to loosen it up, make sure it's pretty easy to take out. All right. And then someone's going to pull up on the base of the tree, and another person's going to pat down gently on the pot. Set it down on the ground, and we're going to tip the tree over onto the pot, like so. So we're gonna tickle the root ball. We're gonna pull down on these roots. The tree can lose about 30% of the root ball before it becomes a problem. So you just want to make sure that these roots are growing in a downward pattern. We don't want them to continue circling because that can choke the tree eventually. So we want to make sure we're pulling down these roots with our fingers. We can get the bottom a little bit too. Don't go too deep. We're just loosening them up all around. So we're going to clip off these nursery ties. We want to take out the bamboo stake. Make sure to keep away from the trunk of the tree when you're cutting these ties off. So we'll leave this stake on while we put it into the hole here. So we'll just lift up gently and we'll set it on the mound there. And this is where we'll remeasure that height. So we'll take the shovel again. And we're going to check how high that first woody root is above ground level. So in this case, it's a little bit high, so we're going to adjust the mound so we get it about ground level. Okay, so we're going to set the tree in again. Make sure it feels pretty good. That height there, the soil, it's really soggy. We're going to set it a little above ground level so that it doesn't sink. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start backfilling. And you want to mix in any different types of soil you might have so that the tree's roots will grow evenly around the tree and not in any better soil that might be mixed in. So we typically don't recommend soil amendment. You're going to use vertical pressure when you're putting the tree in, tucking it in. So you're going to use your fingers like this or like this to really press in the soil. This gives a balance between too much and too little air. So you don't want to compact with your palms or your feet or anything like that. That's going to ultra compact the soil and leave the roots without oxygen. So we want to be using vertical pressure but not compacting too much. All right, so now we're gonna create a berm or a dirt donut around the base of the tree, about a foot out from the tree here. This is to retain water when we're watering our deep root watering method. You want the roots to grow down and reach the water table so that the tree becomes resilient and drought tolerant. You don't want them to grow out into the surrounding soil if there's a sprinkler system or anything like that. So we definitely recommend that you water into the basin. But you want this basin to be really pretty watertight. So you're gonna secure the sides. And you want water to drain away from the root ball. So you want the root ball to be a little bit above here in the basin. And now we're also going to remove this nursery stake. And we're going to backfill that with some of this finer soil. This is again so that there's no space in there for fungus or anything else like that to get to the roots. So we want to backfill that. Now we're going to water the tree in. So we're going to slowly pour a 5-gallon bucket onto the shovel. This is so that we don't create a large dent in our watering basin here. So we're going to gently pour, and as you can see, our watering basin is doing a pretty good job of retaining that soil moisture. Now we're going to add mulch over top of the berm. We're going to keep this 2 to 3 inches away from the base of the tree. So it's always good to have 2 to 3 inches of mulch over top of the root zone. As the tree gets larger, the root zone will get larger. This mulch builds organic content in the soil and creates a healthy ecosystem for the tree's roots to develop along with any beneficial microbes. So we recommend keeping the area around the base of the tree mulched, but you want to make sure that we clear 2 to 3 inches away from the base of the tree. So keep that clear. And there you have it. We have a fully planted tree.